Can I eat at an all-you-can-eat buffet all day? Well, today I'm going to one opening at 7 a.m. and attempting to eat every hour until they close at 7 p.m. without getting kicked out. The rules are simple. I have to eat at least one plate of food every hour, and I cannot leave until the project is done. At the end of the video, I will reveal how much I spent, how many plates, coffee cups, and calories I consumed, and how many times I had to go toilet squat.
Have you ever shown up to an all-you-can-eat buffet before it opens? No? Just me? Cool.
Today I'll be at Dutchman in Bellville, Ohio. They are typically known for their Amish-style meals, but today they're also going to be known for babysitting me. It's about a 90-minute drive for me, so I left at 5:30 in the morning to get there. And you might be asking yourself, don't you have buffets in Cleveland? Yes, but the first hour I made the mistake of loading up too quickly and got eggs, biscuits, and gravy, sausage links, fruit, and 2 donuts. The food there is unbelievable, and let me tell you, if you are the first person to eat at a buffet all day, it is even better. However, I had to be careful because today is going to be a marathon and not a sprint, and honestly, I'll probably have to run a marathon after this to lose the weight. There was one thing I was particularly worried about because I'm not good at planning or anything that requires organization. I didn't let the restaurant know beforehand that I was going to be doing this, and after the first hour of my server asking me multiple times if I needed anything and why I wasn't getting more food, I decided to let them know I was doing this video project, and if they actually needed to kick me out, it's fine because it would make the edit a lot shorter anyway. So she went to go talk to her manager, came back and told me that if I needed anything to let them know because the manager saw my videos before. So it looks like the only thing stopping me from eating all day today is between the ears. Oh, speaking of which, I ended up also getting a bowl of Frosted Flakes in hour 1.
Sure, that would be good.
I really was never the brightest crayon in the coloring box. After my first hour of eating, I had 2 plates of food, 1 cup of coffee, and 2 toilet exorcisms.
This is exactly how I like my coffee, to have way more sugar.
Hour 2, my strategy was to not get 2 plates of food, but I sure filled up my 1 plate with bacon, yogurt, home fries, and some more gravy. The pros of eating here is that the food is phenomenal. The cons are every meal I'm eating today is extremely heavy, and it's gonna feel like eating Thanksgiving dinner 12 times in a day. And after hour 2, I was really starting to feel it, Mr. Krabs.
I need probably like 100 milligrams more of caffeine or something.
My first server of the day, Ashley, was incredibly nice to me, but unfortunately had to break to me somewhat bad news. So, you know, I told you that this buffet was open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, apparently that was wrong because today was the first day that the hours changed to 8 p.m. So instead of eating here for a dozen hours, I'm gonna be here for a baker's dozen. 13 is also an unlucky number, but I truly believe bad luck is canceled out by being dumb. In hour 3, I felt like a human toilet, which I essentially am at this point, but decided to get eggs, sausage, and this cobbler thing. I really have no idea what it was, but it had like blackberries in it, I think. At this time, I want to ask the audience a question. So raise your hand if you have eaten every hour of the day at one point. Okay. Not a lot of you raised your hands, and that's important because eating all day is one of the most physically and mentally exhausting things I've ever done in my entire life. I biked 100 miles in a day before, and this takes the cake by far. Speaking of which, do you think they have cake at this buffet? The breakfast buffet ends at 11 a.m., so I have 1 more hour left until they switch it for the lunch and dinner buffet. At this point, after feeling like the caterpillar from A Bug's Life, I decided I needed to walk around for a little bit. Now, Dutchman isn't just an Amish-style restaurant and buffet. No, it is much more than that. It's also a country store that sells a lot of cool homemade goods. The upstairs has cool retail stuff that I want to check out when it opens at 11, but for now, it was honestly nice to distract my brain and move around for a little bit. In hour 4 of this food marathon, I just got this cobbler thing and then some more yogurt. I think it helps with some digestive problems, and I need all the help I can get today. Oh, and by the way, that cobbler thing or whatever it's called is the best thing I've had so far. Don't get me wrong, it was heavy, but so was I at this point. Dutchman is also known for their homemade peanut butter they put in squeeze bottles, and obviously I have no self-control and I had some. Through the breakfast buffet, I had consumed 5 plates of food, went to the bathroom 4 times, and alarmingly had already 5 cups of coffee. Ironically though, it wasn't really doing anything for my awakeness, it was just making me go to the bathroom more at this point. Which reminds me to you all, I have to say this, please do not try this at home. I am a professional dumbass. My server Ashley had to leave early to spend time with her kids on their spring break, but before leaving, she upgraded me to a bigger and nicer table for the rest of the day. I secretly think it was because the booth was in the corner and they wanted me out of the way, but still. The designers made it Ohio State themed. My guess is that they are Buckeyes fans, but we can't assume anything in 2024. I'm gonna guess the wood they use, maybe some fancy ones to sound smarter. Let's say cherry and mahogany. Hour 5 had dawned upon me, but sometimes a good fresh change in scenery is I messed that saying up. but sometimes a good change in scenery allows for a fresh start. For my first lunch plate, I was really proud of myself. I got a salad. You know, no big deal. This might be the only salad I eat here all day. I should have more, but sometimes you gotta celebrate those little wins, right? Fellas, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Hey, yo!
Fun fact, I used to call croutons futons when I was a kid. Up until I was about 14.
Hour 6, I had heard about 7 political conversations, 9 family arguments, and 3 crying babies. I was one of them. And look, if you know me, you know I am not a political person, but I just have to say it. Comment your starter Pokemon between Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. For this plate, I got mashed potatoes and dressing. I personally call it stuffing, but they call it dressing here. And I'm not gonna say I look down on them for doing this, but intellectually, I do look down on them. And as I said before, the food hit me harder than my brother sucker punching me when we were kids.
So for me today, food has just become like a business transaction. I haven't been hungry since the start of the morning. I'm just here to eat and do business.
But God gives his biggest plates to his most silliest eaters, so I'm gonna figure out a way to keep a warrior spirit today. In hour 7, I opted for trying one of their soups of the day, potato soup. And if you think about it, me eating this soup is kind of like cannibalism. The joke is I feel like a potato right now. And honestly, while editing this video right now, I just found out something that totally pissed me off. They have a mini golf course on the property that I could have went to help me pass time. But at that time, I had no idea it existed, so I was just stuck feeling like Mr. Potato Head. Hour 8 came along and I tried taking a nap, but after 5 seconds, another crying baby woke me up. So I thought it'd be a pretty good idea to maybe go walk around the retail section I wanted to visit. They had a bunch of fun things to try on if I was a 70-year-old wholesome grandmother that also loved pickleball, but sadly I'm just a 30-year-old degenerate that also loves pickleball. I had fun goofing around for sure, but almost regretted looking outside the windows because today was the nicest day it was gonna be all week, and I had been without fresh air for a very long time. So it was back to my unnecessary indoor challenge instead. I had green beans, more noodles, and their signature bread pudding, and oh my goodness, bread pudding is for sure #1 on my board right now. Coming in at second on the leaderboard is the cobbler whatever thing. Third is everything else there because I'm not that picky. In hour 9, I felt like an out of control NASCAR driver that recently lost their wheel. I hit a wall. I got more green beans, mashed potatoes, and corn. Unnecessary gross fact about corn, it looks the exact same coming in as it does going out.
It's cold.
I also had to take my pants off because eating a lot of meat makes me sweat balls.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Hour 10, instead of opting for more heavy food, I just opted for dessert, which could have been heavier. I got pie fluff, which is basically pie without the crust, their signature apple butter, and some Jell-O. And as a 5-year-old trapped in a grown-ass man's body, I was in paradise. I'm now gonna have to rank the pie fluff at #1, moving everything else down the leaderboard. At this point in my notes app, because something is wrong with me, I had been tallying the number of plates I've consumed, coffee cups I've drank, and the number of times I've visited the bathroom. But let's go back to the coffee cups. At this point, I've had 11 coffee cups. I thought I would have had crippling anxiety at this point, but it didn't do anything for me. And not to bring TMI, but the more coffee you have, the more times you have to go to the bathroom. What am I doing? And my name is not Sir Yacht for nothing. You need to save this ship.
The managers have been coming up to me and doing wellness checks basically to see if I'm still like alive. So I appreciate that.
I had only 3 more hours left, and despite the only thing differentiating me and a pile of shit was a social security number, I was feeling pretty optimistic.
I'm a piece of shit. I am a huge piece of shit.
Hour 11, I went with the strategy of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm alone, I go fucking crazy.
What are you doing, you fucking idiot?
I don't like being alone, but at the same time, I get it because who else is going to do something like this with me? But I got really excited when my friend Grace, who I haven't seen in months and lives in the area, said she joined me for the final 2 hours of the project. And I truly commend her because she said she was gonna try to eat as much food as she could possibly have in honor of me. And you know what they say, whatever happens at a buffet, stays at a buffet. And also goes to your hips the next day. For my 12th hour, I just got the apple butter and a boatload of pie fluff again. No hard feelings to the Jell-O, it's just business at this point. However, I did this so I could go out with a bang for my 13th and final hour of eating at this all-you-can-eat buffet.
One more meal and you can do this. Maybe.
I got 2 plates this time, one of them being a salad. I truly amaze myself on how responsible I can be for minutes at a time. Dear Dutchman's fried chicken and meatballs are some of my favorite dishes out there.
Well, I just swallowed it whole.
I bet you couldn't. There's no way you could.
So it only felt right to save it for last. And now that I've completed another unnecessary challenge, here are the results. I had 15 plates of food, 12 cups of coffee. Yikes. And went to the bathroom 18 times. I spent a total of $31.48. And lastly, in my estimation, I consumed about 13,500 calories. Again, for the viewers at home, I strongly discourage you from doing something like this, and please leave it to the licensed morons, trained idiots, and professional dumbasses like myself.
I know what I like, baby, I like you. This American pie with the high Q. Oh my, I do. Just fly right through. We'll get high as a kite in the afternoon.
Your
I
stomach.
am happy to announce that I finished my entire dinner.
That was the dumbest f***ing thing I've ever done in my entire life.